Welcome you to the November 20th, 2025 State Fair Community College Board of Trustee meeting. We'd like to call the meeting to order. We would need an approval of the agenda. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Same sign. Motion passes. Citizens' comments. Lisa, do we have any?
There are no comments.
Now we need the approval of the October 30th, 2025 board meeting minutes that were published. Give that to us. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion passes. Now warrant number 4, the 2025 for October. Keith?
For the month of October 2025, the college disbursed $3,253,498. There were no disbursements for any of our construction projects, and the disbursements were as shown on the report.
Thank you so much. I would entertain a motion.
Moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The same sign. Motion passes. The time that we really probably enjoy the most is the new employee introductions. So,
Keith, you're up. Everybody, this is Patricia Carlos. She's our newest custodial hire, although she's been working for us for a few months, coming from Info to see if she thought we were worthy of her. And I think she decided she liked it, and we decided we liked her. She does a great job. She works in the Yater building and the new residence hall, so God bless you for that. But she's a native of, let's see, she's a native of New Summit in Sedalia now. She's got 5 children, the oldest being 16, where you're about 26. So. She's got four boys and 1 girl. So I've been married 17 years, so thrilled to have her with us. Thank you for all you do. So, thank you.
A tuition benefit
He's also interested in nursing, so I buy out a letter.
Dr. Murders.
So, Dr. Lindsay Weatherford. She is going to be our new director of student success. Worked directly underneath Curtis as the associate dean. So we've kind of restructured, as you all were aware of in previous board meetings, so she'll be overseeing all the navigators and that aspect. But Lindsay, she comes from a lot of years in education, athletic leadership, more than 20 years, in various roles of student success, academic services, coaching. Her last position was the assistant athletic director and senior women's leader at Briarcliff University. She earned her doctorate in 2024, so it's still new and shiny. And in education leadership from Arkansas State University, so she's a Red Wolf on the other side of Arkansas. I'll let that one go.
You flashing gang signs, quit that.
They do that. So, I could read a bunch of other things, but basically she's got a lot of K-12 experience, been teacher, been coach, volleyball, basketball. She's been in higher ed and athletic leadership areas. And then she got into wanting to see about student success. And she really focused her dissertation in those areas. And there's a lot you could read on that when you're ready to. So, she's married. I had to go search this stuff. So hopefully I'm right. And if I'm not, you'll correct me. Her husband's Ross, but he's also Air Force or retired. Yeah, retired. Yeah. Did he do all 20? I couldn't find, that's not public info. So I definitely tucked in some more Air Force family. 2 children. Let's see, Maxton and Mara.
Yeah.
See, and then she's been all over the place: Iowa, South Dakota, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Arizona, Missouri, Ohio. Did I miss any?
I mean, I'm from there.
Yeah, Iowa many times. So she's from Iowa. It's her home. So anyway, I was just showing you she's been around, brings a lot of great experience to us. So, and she's actually still working, with kind of some remote getting transition because they haven't moved here. So she's specifically drove here to be here tonight and tomorrow and work, and she'll be back some, but she's got to make a drive back to Iowa. So you welcome to say a few words.
I'm excited to be here a lot of years and student success with first generation students in a transition, transitioning in and out of higher ed. And so this is going to be a great community for our family, really great place for me. This role is like a culmination of everything I've done to this point. So I'm really excited to be.
Lindsay.
He started his own LLC, so yeah, home.
Risk management, safety, all those things as Air Force days, and he's age, we know, so I'm just thinking where we work, so.
Welcome to our team, Patricia and Lindsay. Oh, and by the way, did you know that the campus of Arkansas State University is on the way to Marlin?
You go that way, yes, sir. And if you decide to eat in Pine Bluff, yeah.
And Arkansas,
They don't stop there, but
Arkansas State's playing football or basketball?
Ball at
Football.
30 on ESPN.
are they really?
So welcome to take off for the
The best second.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
very much. You're welcome to take off if you'd like.
Thank you for being here.
On our agenda is the student government,
There is no student government report.
meeting. Next month, institutional report. I think we have, Dr. Kara.
How's everyone doing? Thanks for having me. I'm here to talk to you tonight a little bit about the Center for Teaching and Learning, which in 2024 school year, it was one of the FAST goals to improve the exposure to quality instruction and provide professional development for our faculty. And so they enlisted me to start this Center for Teaching and Learning from the ground up. And it's been a journey and a fun ride to be able to do that. I want to give you a couple of facts about the Center for Teaching and Learning. So from August of 2024 until July of 2025, we offered 83 hours of professional development to our faculty and staff. Over 500 State Fair employees attended. And in January, I revised the mentoring program for our full-time faculty. We took that on so that we could pair our seasoned faculty with our new faculty so they could feel that connection and start establishing some friendships and some relationships so that when they had questions, all things SFCC, they could go to someone and they would have that information so they could collaborate. And since July 2025, the Center for Teaching and Learning has offered 104 professional development hours to faculty and staff with over 1,100 people in attendance. So I want to tell you a few of the sessions. Actually, it's a really long list because I'm so excited to share, but we've offered sessions that include Title IX, the Caring Campus, how to manage your time, teaching WebCon classes, the True Colors Personality Indicator, how to organize your Canvas gradebook, disability accommodations, student learning outcomes, athletic roundtables, lessons learned by removing the textbook, UJA videos, Robert's Rules, how to engage students with active learning, smart sheet trainings, budgets, the care team, and simple syllabus. And speaking of simple syllabus, thank you. You all, with your investment into State Fair, you've helped provide us with an advantage for our institution. We're going to be implementing simple syllabus in the spring of 2026. And this simple syllabus has proven to be a little less simple than the back end, but it's going to be really good once we get it implemented. It's going to provide us with consistency and compliance. So we're going to be able to, those HLC requirements. It'll be efficient. In the long run, it'll be efficient because it streamlines the process for our adjuncts to be able to swipe and click their information to be able to add to the next year's syllabus or the next semesters. We have the accessibility portion, which gives the students an easy centralized access to access their syllabi and see all of them in one location. And we have reporting tools, so we're gonna know who's working on their syllabi and who we need to call and say, get on it. This tool is gonna help us align perfectly with our commitment here at State Fair to provide excellence. And finally, I wanted to mention that we hired an instructional designer. His name is Jay Rosema, and you guys met him, I believe, previous meeting. He came to us with a wealth of knowledge and experience, and along with the Center for Teaching and Learning Committee, we've created small bite-sized or snackable skill videos that help our faculty learn even more while they're sitting at their desk, maybe taking a break and eating a snack. So we are very excited about having Jay on board with us as well. And finally, I'd just like to share with you that we have started collaboration with UCM. We started that last year. Offer PD sessions where we share, we offer, they can come, they offer, we can go there. And we've done this at little to no cost. We have a great big pool of professionals here at State Fair that have shared their expertise through all of these professional development sessions. And I'm really thankful for that. And I'm really proud to say that we've done it on little to no money, that we've been able to create it there. But one goal that I have moving forward is to expand our opportunities to reach outside and find other presenters, and to find a home for the Center for Teaching and Learning, maybe a spot on State Fair campus where everybody knows where it is and can go to receive the training. So thank you all for having me. Do you have any questions? Okay.
For your work.
Right, next on the agenda is position change request. Strive to student engagement coordinator. Is it Scott?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. So this is a request to change a position, a vacant position in the assistant registrar to a new student engagement coordinator. Those duties that the student engagement coordinator we would like to have do is currently residing with the director of student life, who also handles a lot of disciplinary. So it's kind of hard to be the fun person and the disciplinary person all rolled into one. So what we'd like to do is pull those positions or pull those duties, create a position that they could put on campus-wide events, not just for student housing, but for the entire campus, and bring those events, make this a better place for all our students around the campus and extended campuses. So with that, I'll say it is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve a request to transfer the vacant assistant registrar position and move it under the Associate Dean of Admissions and Student Success, thereby creating a new student engagement coordinator position. This position will be responsible for planning, organizing, and directing all student activities, student organizations, and related programs.
I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Any questions or discussion?
I'd like to say that we call these recommendations the Richard Parker agenda item, because the positions approved, we all approved a position, we're retitling it, repurposing. This is also one way that we are more efficient as an institution. Instead of adding new positions, we look to reallocate funds where we can be more efficient. The student engagement position is, in my opinion, vital to our retention and success. We now have 300 students living on campus. We need to keep them engaged. I know of 5 students that this fall have lived in the residence hall that have gone home homesick. That's opposite of what we want this engagement to be about. We want engaged students so they're making friends and they're not like they're homesick and need to go home. So, but also the research is very clear that engaging students outside the classroom in both curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities helps students stay in class, stay engaged. So this position will be designed full-time to dedicate to engaging students, not only the traditional age students that are in the residence halls or on A+, but also the non-traditional students and families, building affinity with State Fair Community College and building our community, our sense of community. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Yes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Same sign, motion. Next is fielding ETC HVAC units.
Lieu of a bid table, we've got a couple of, this is lots was just as easy to do it this way. So first of these is for the building CTC area, some HVAC units and controls. This was part of the grant we got, I think we approved a couple of months ago. We update some of the learning environment in that area. So it's recommended the Board of Trustees accept the bid from Train US and Inc. of the Nexa, Kansas, for the purchase of 3 25-ton precedent unitary rooftop AC units and controls in the amount of $70,250 for the CTC portion of the Fielding Technical Center. It's based on the Omnia Partners Cooperative Purchasing State Contract. Funding is 50% the DESI Area Career Center Construction Fund and 50% the FY26 operating budget. Okay, I'll read the next one. Next one is the the Davis Multipurpose Center, the esports renovation HVAC unit and controls. This unit will be specifically for the esports area we're renovating, and we had to replace the one that's there to give the appropriate force of the cooling power needed. So it's additionally recommended the Board of Trustees accept the bid from Train US of Lenexa, Kansas for the purchase of 1 25-ton precedent unitary rooftop AC unit controls in the amount of $27,598 for the esports renovation portion of the Davis Multipurpose Center. Pricing is based on Omnia Partners Cooperative Purchasing Contract, and funding is the 26 operating budget.
Need a motion to approve these items.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion?
Would like to add that the MPC rooftop unit was in its end of life, so just replacing it, even though it's whatever the word is for more cooling air. And I would like to also add that in our planning and estimation, and the amount that we planned and prepared and budgeted for these expenditures was significantly more than what they came in. So Keith and the facilities team did some magic to create some design and deals that really resulted in significant savings, 6-figure savings for the State Fair Community College. And so good job, Keith.
Yeah. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. The same sign. Motion passes. Now, sale of surplus property.
The next two items deal with surplus property. Do the first for specific surplus property. We'll talk about the second. This is sale of surplus property related to the vacated automotive tech building that's over there. Recommended the Board of Trustees approve the sale of State Fair Community College personal property that has been determined to be no longer needed by the college unless deemed surplus. The property we're talking about is various items in the vacated former automotive technology building. Property will be disposed of through public auction. So basically there's a lot of stuff just left in the building after we move. It's just things. Just need to go get rid of that at auction and building out.
I would entertain a motion to approve. Any questions, discussion? All in favor, say aye. All same sign. Motion passes.
Next one deals with the actual stems from the actual policy on surplus property that we're supposed to ask you for the approval of disposal of any surplus property. I can say in the past, we may not have done it specific to that, as you know, often we dispose of small items that surplus, but they're not of any value to anybody. So I want to put this on here to make sure we cover everybody that we're doing this the right way and just kind of get some blanket authority that we'll renew every year. So so this is for disposal of what we call nominal value surplus property. Throughout the year, State Fair Community College has the need to dispose of surplus property of nominal value, less than $5,000. I use $5,000 because that's the amount typically for capital goods, as well as on many grants. Most grants, they say as long as it's under 5,000, they really don't care, but above 5,000, there's some other reporting to do. If it's within the life of the particular piece of equipment. It's administratively difficult and time consuming to present each of these items to the Board of Trustees. Therefore, it's recommended the Board of Trustees grant approval to the Vice President, Finance and Administration to dispose of State Fair Community College personal property with an estimated value of less than $5,000, which has been determined to be no longer needed by the college and thus deemed surplus property. These items will be disposed of through public auction or donation to a public school system or 501c3 organization. This approval will be for the remainder of FY 26.
Would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Your second.
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
Yes. We have a policy 3390 regarding the sale, lease, donation of personal property. Probably policy is a more appropriate. That policy, this change, which is a good change, does need to be incorporated into the policy so that it can be found, located, it's there. As Keith mentioned, rather than renewing each year, if we made it's a matter of policy, then we wouldn't have to revisit it until we decided that the value from 5,000 needed to be raised or lowered. So I'm in favor of allowing this Keith and the business folks to do this. But I really do think that this change needs to be incorporated into policy. And I didn't get a chance to read documents and in enough time to give lead time to folks about this, but I really do think it's a policy issue.
Will do.
We can certainly research. I believe there are some legal requirements for community colleges, so I'll have to research that. This policy, I believe, is grounded in legal requirements, but Richard, you may know more about that than I do, but
This is a resolution.
oh, I'm talking about policy
3390 is, and the revision probably ought to be run by for opinion of council, but for compliance, I do think that I would think that if we did that the parameters within policy, we've met the statutory requirement. And I feel more comfortable having met statutory requirements if we policy rather than a renewing resolution each year.
So we can go ahead and approve of this.
Oh, there is a motion.
Right. While we'll look into that. All right, all those in favor say aye. On same sign. Passes. Right, thank you. It looks like it's president's report time. Ready.
Policy amendment. List. All right. In your board packet, there is a calendar of things going on. I'm calling your attention to a couple of items. One is a reminder of on November 26th, we have a Thanksgiving dinner for students that are campus bound during the Thanksgiving holiday. It's always a wonderful event. And we've received RSVP from many of you. But if you would like to, if you're planning on attending, please let Lisa know tonight if you can, or tomorrow at the latest, just to make sure that we have enough food for everybody. We appreciate your attendance, and it's an event. Feel free to bring your family along. Some of them are doing that. So then on December 4th is Jingle on the Green. So that ceremony kicks off at 6 o'clock. And with some remarks in Suffolker Theater, but you can start anywhere campus. It's a wonderful event. It's billed as State Fair Community College gift to our community, and it's sponsored by the foundation. Mary Troiner would be here tonight, but she's filling in for us at the public comment session on the highway intersection on 32nd Street. So she's just in case there's any implications of State Fair Community College there. But bring your Christmas jingle on December 4th, and I'm anxious to see what Christmas cheer outfit Dr. Murders dresses in for this event. So, and then finally, it's time for us to again to celebrate completion of our students with our winter commencement ceremony on December 12th at the Mathewson Building in the fairgrounds. So that previously has been at the MPC. We moved it to the fairgrounds because we're right on capacity BC. So we want to make sure we have room for everybody. So bring your regalia. Oh no, we'll bring your regalia. That's right. We'll take care of you that. So we'll see you at that. And the reporting time for that is at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Luca, with that always. Did you draw a calendar?
Legislative event.
Oh, yes, we have a legislative event coming up, is that? Fourth, yeah. So, Jolynn, what's the latest count on legislators that?
Later this time.
Or she continues to follow up with them. And, we, are using the same agenda that we had, previously, but we're, making some. In Jefferson City, we really focused on our Jefferson City Mo Excels project. We have another project that we're still doing some work on to see if it's going to be the focus for us here, maybe in education area, but we're ready to go on that event as soon as that's finalized. I wanted to, I already had graduation attendance down, legislative summit. The National Legislative Summit. Registration is occurring now for the National Legislative Summit. That's the event sponsored by the Association of Community College Trustees in Washington, D.C. each year to advocate for community college issues. So if you would like to attend that, Lisa needs to know about that so she can start to make those arrangements for that. And the second thing that I wanted to throw out there is last year we had a really successful experience taking a student along with us. Molly Pritchard was a wonderful ambassador, but more importantly, she really valued that for her educational goals. And I saw her, we saw her again last week at MCCA, where she's serving as an intern for at MCCA. And again, she expressed how wonderful that trip was and how meaningful it was to her. So,
and we also took Cameron Bowmore.
That's right. We took Cameron.
2 students.
Right. So, we haven't received the ACCT green sheet, which is the legislative priorities. I don't think that's been a release. Last time I looked was last week, it had been released. But I do know that one of the things that's on in the discussion federally for potential cuts is the adult education program. And that program is a very important program in our service region. We have a very strong adult education program. You heard last month that we're number 2 in the state in terms of outcome gains. As a leadership, we've talked about finding someone, if we could, that started in the adult education program, went to a community college program, and maybe is out on the street. I think Richard maybe planted that seed with me about that, or maybe Patty. But so we have our team is searching. We have some ideas, and that may be someone that if we could highlight them and they're available. Kind of hard when even somebody's working, not they'd be available, but that's one thing we're looking at. if you all have other ideas, please let me know. And as soon as that reading report comes down, we'll working that. We included in our service report some legislative priorities, things that are important to State Fair Community College, kind of waiting for the ACCT thing to come out. So any questions about the legislative summit? All right. So last meeting, I reported, I believe that our request to the, well, let me back up a little bit. When I became president, I requested to the city of Sedalia to waive building permits costs for our construction projects at Olin Howard and on our outdoor athletic projects. Not at Olin Howard, Ellen Brock. Olin Howard building permit was quite expensive for us. And many community colleges either waive or avoid that process because the idea is public money paying for public to another public organization that, you know, that's taxpayer money to taxpayer money. And that doesn't make a lot of sense. And so the city graciously previously waived those fees. They also waived the fees for the school district and very supportive of those public projects. We recently had a request that we made for a building waiver fees for a building permit for our coffee shop. That permit, however, was denied. And so city manager work at the time was working on the ordinance to make that something that we'd have to receive every time that they would open it up to, that it would be part of ordinance and that any public entity would get a waiver of their building permits. That proposal was presented to the council this week and it was approved. So there is new law in the city of Sedalia waiving building permits all public entities. So I appreciate the work of the city manager and for the city council for voting in favor of that. And just makes a lot of sense about being, you know, responsible use of taxpayer money and we appreciate their support for that. I wanted to give you an update on the outdoor athletic complex. Things are going along well, although today, you know, a little bit of rain today and the projected more rain this weekend will slow things down, but they've anticipating that rain. They worked long days over the last weekend and into the night and starting in early mornings. And they have the softball field, outdoor athletic complex. They have the drainage system in and they have the grade done, finished. They have the drainage system in. They have the fence pipes installed. And they have the concrete footings around the edge installed. And so they will be putting a fabric, kind of like a landscape fabric, down across the field. And then they'll be putting large rock, 1 inch rock, and then small rock, a 1/4 inch rock on top of that. And they're ready to put the carpet on. So of course, there's other work to do, like building the outs and putting in electricity in the lighting system and things like that. But that field is just about ready for the carpet. And as soon as that is completed, they'll be moving to the baseball field. And really the goal is for the baseball and softball fields at least to be ready for their season openers in February. So and they're confident that'll happen. The carpet has been manufactured specifically in storage, so they're ready to go as soon as they get the housework done out there. So we met with the manager and the management project manager on the project this week, so it went well. Any questions about the outdoor athletic parks? Finally, I want to harmonize just a little bit about our strategic alignment. And we talked about this a little bit and had some discussions, but I just want to summarize those discussions. I made a presentation at MCCA to presidents and chancellors about at least some opportunities today for community college that we need to be poised to make. And I think we are poised as an institution. We're probably as poised as any community college in the state. But we have reviewed as an institution President Trump's workforce initiatives plans, building the workforce for the golden age. And we've reviewed Governor Kehoe's workforce report called Workforce for the Future Challenge Report. And there's some themes that are in both of those reports. The themes being that there is a need for a trained workforce. We know the demographics are, we're getting older, the workforce is leaving, there's not as many young people coming up. And so there's going to be some real workforce challenges. We also know that the jobs of today are requiring training, post-high school training. A large percentage of those jobs for that. So there's a big need for the workforce. The other themes in that are the need for hands-on training, experiential learning, connections with K-12, connections with business and industry, connections with labor, and connections with higher educations. So if you look at all that, it describes the State Fair Community College or community colleges. We're the institution that is poised to take advantage of all that. We're the center of all of that. And if you look at our strategic plan, most of the initiatives in our strategic plan we're aligned with that. So there's great opportunity. Our planning is going forward with that. And this all kind of really came home to me last week when I gave a welcome to a group of high school counselors that were here on campus, invited by the Missouri Chamber of Commerce. And they have a program where they connect high school counselors with business and industry to talk about the great jobs that are available in Missouri, to encourage counselors, to encourage students to get trained for jobs here locally. And that program historically has only been offered in St. Louis and in Kansas City. But in cooperation with the Root Ed program, a program designed to help rural students go to college, with the support of that program, they expanded to rural community colleges, and specifically the one they picked out, the State Fair Community College. And so the chamber also gave the welcome, and the person at the chamber said this, and I'm not just saying this because I'm president, I'm not making it up. He said and he was being very frank with the group. He said there's 3 colleges in the state that get workforce development. They get workforce training. They get the things that I just described that are outlined in both the federal and state plans. He said those colleges are OTC, State Tech, State Fair Community College. And he said they specifically picked us for that program because we get it. And the success, he said, of our industry, of Sedalia and our region having that strong industrial base is a large part because we have State Fair Community College here supporting that industry and network. So all of this is coming clear. You know, our focus, our future, the opportunities for our future, and we're really poised to take advantage of that with our new strategic plan and with all the hard work you have done as a team to position the college for that. So I'm sorry, I kind of preached on a little bit. I'm preaching to the choir, I'm sure. So now I would like you to turn your hymnals to Dr. Murders would like to sing a solo. It's giving me would you give him a C, please?
I was also, you go to, if I go back to the calendar, did the adult ed? I didn't see it on there. Adult ed is December the 13th at 10 o'clock, but we have a 9 o'clock, so I just want to make sure. But
Thanks for that reminder. All right, that's my report. Questions?
Things happening at State Fair, and thank you to all who are playing a role in it. Here. All right, next on the agenda is financial report. Keith?
Well, this report is quite as exciting. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Suck up.
The month of October, our revenue is strong, as we would expect. There's really months of October, November, there's no real tuition revenue coming in that's been collected. So you're really just getting state appropriations of things, but that's also remaining strong. On the expense side, you may notice on the instruction part of that, year to date is a bit higher than it has been the past years. So I looked into that. That's really a function of timing. We buy a lot of equipment on enhancement grant that's considered academic instruction. We're doing that earlier this year, which is good. Sometimes we have waited till late in the year, even in the spring, to get that purchase. So we're getting that done between Dr. Murders and Shelley Garner. They're getting those purchases made now to get the equipment in now. So that's really a timing issue there when we're buying that equipment. So other than that, as you see, I mean, some of our areas are even a little bit less than they were at this time last year. So we're doing a good job of holding expenses there. So in terms of purchases between the 10 and 25,000 range that were made out there without the full bid, they are a company called Looking Glass. We bought some VR mini carts. So it has carts to house the virtual reality all those classes, all that on. The signs for Ella Rock A&M was $14,867, and then that'll be reimbursed from the foundation. Snap-on, CZC Auto bought some Snap-on some workstations there, as you see, and then athletic charters for $24,939. That's the report. Questions?
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is board discussion.
Well, as you all know, our proposed mill levy failed, election, this month. And, so we did have a strong group of community members that supported our levy requests, and we appreciate the support of those folks. I've done a lot of soul searching about, how we could have improved that vote. Received a lot of suggestions from folks in the community and input from community members, and a lot of support from community members as well. But we propose to put this item on the agenda for you all to talk about the vote and discuss, what are future plans for that, if you're ready to do that, or would like us to put that on the agenda at some point in time. This is the time to have some discussion about it. I will say that we did receive some good news in that we just received we received the official tally election votes from Henry County. I believe we had 20 voters in Henry County, and we won Henry County. So that was the good news there. It was narrow win, but we'll count the win.
So I actually had a constituent yesterday say, okay, so now what? And a supporter would have liked to have seen it passed. So, I don't know. I told her, I don't know. I know we'll talk about it. We have a meeting tomorrow. But yeah, she's encouraging, and you all are doing good work, and you should keep trying to do. And so anyway, I do know our folks do want to know. They want to see us succeed. And so, well, the answer was clearly no. And so we'll regroup and listen and take feedback and see what we can do. So.
I'm interested in seeing the governor's budget proposal before making any decision as to timing.
timing. Timing of possible resubmission. I need to know, one of the big issues is getting a feel for actually what's going to be happening at the federal and state level. And while we anticipate that there'll be limited increases, or increases below CPI. I'd like to get those figures so they have a real sense of how strong an argument can be made based upon here's what we're expecting in funding. The result, this is where we're at. So I guess I'm not quite ready to consider a resubmission.
I wonder if having a longer time to get the word out might not be a bad idea. I think we, it felt like that we maybe pushed it on them. I think people were not aware. So I think that we give enough time to speak to our communities and others.
That is a frequent comment I heard from folks that, so we worked hard to get the word out, and we had that many people felt like that they didn't know enough about it. I heard some feedback today that, they didn't hear kind of the rationale for it. I did speak to our local experts about it. What's the reasonable amount of time for an informational campaign to get a word out? And our expert, who happens to be sitting here in the room at the Marcom at the table here, estimated kind of 3 months is a minimum time period for building a campaign and deploying that campaign. Preferably have a month longer than that, but 3 months was I right, Sam?
Yeah, I would say about 3 months to execute the campaign. Ideally, you'd have a month or two of lead time up there where you can really cultivate some of that messaging strategy in place before executing that 3 months of communication ahead of time.
Any other comments?
I told one of the groups that I attended, that I felt like my job as a trustee was to let our public team members, and they are our team, know what our needs were and put an option before them to let them work with us on that. And so while I was disappointed, I certainly don't feel defeated, if that makes sense. Like, that just was not an option that the majority wanted to support. And so we'll go back to our team and, at some point, or do something that is an option that hopefully they can get behind. I think so. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. The message, this was not presented because we're in dire fiscal strait, or, continue serving our communities the best we can. And, but the problem is we have a business model that we can't continue with. We know, looking into the future as we forecast, it's a business model that we can't continue. We've kept our mill levy 40 cents since the beginning of the college. And the percentage of funds accounted for by students has flipped from 15% at the beginning of the college to 60% today. And it's not, we can't continue to pass on all the costs to our students, because we're about access, providing access to everyone to education that could be transformational, moving people sometimes, many times, from poverty into great paying jobs. So that's our mission. We need to, as business people running a business, we need to figure out how we can maintain this business model and allow people to have access, all people have access. And so we'll continue to work on that. And that may be a mill levy increase. We probably need that. there'll be other things that we work out as well. You know, being as efficient as we can continue to be as efficient as we can and allocate funds as efficiently as we can to deliver what we need to for. And, you know, eventually it comes down to what can be forward. We may have to, eventually you have to decide what services are important to it. And what services aren't. So those are tough decisions to make.
I want to acknowledge Darcy and Jolyn and Dr. Bates and all the others who put on night after night of community forums and I'm sure that I'm bigger than that, but you tried. And you did more than tried, you succeeded, you did well in presenting the strategic plan.
It was great to be out in the communities and talking to folks and this levy didn't pass, but we did make good relationships in our communities. So that was important.
All right, well, I know we had MCCA in St. Charles, so anybody want to hear the thoughts on it was Jeff and myself,
So
Dr. Bates, we had a large group.
the very first workshop that Keith was in, I think was again this year, you know, AI, several different things. It was that way last year too, but the very first workshop was kind of almost a scare. Oh, AI is going to take over and take all our jobs, our teaching jobs and all these things. And then you go to the very next workshop and the very first slide is a statistical slide about how even in the last 2 years, various parts of college employees are feeling overloaded and taxed and how they can't handle their job load. And so it was like, okay, you two need to mesh these two workshops because here's your answer. So the idea I think is that one thing I think is very much in place here are systems. We have a lot of good systems in place and how I don't know the exact quote, but goal is essentially a one-time thing that you meet, but your systems are what provide the basis for long-term and multiple success. And so again, as is obvious, we just have to learn how to utilize AI and harness it and let it take us to the next level instead of being scared of it. I want to talk for a minute.
Richard?
The Game of Thrones that had winter. HLC is coming. And that's something we should never forget. That we need to be thinking how we're going to do about it. I know Darcy's got her plan and is working on it, but that the entire college community needs to be attuned to the fact that there comes the time to be evaluated, but you're evaluated on 10 years of preparation rather than 6 months of preparation. And so that we always need to have accreditation in mind. I came away with an idea that we need to include in our annual retreat that will help provide the evidence necessary for continuing accreditation, because there are some requirements of trustees. And there's some things that we could do that will strengthen the argument that Darcy is going to be responsible for. The other thing was the keynote speaker said something to the effect of, if your hands are dirty, your job is safe. So that plays right into college workforce training.
Sure. Glad you shared that. But we had lots of recognition and award winners. Of course, Steve and Karen Ellebrock got the award of distinction. And so they were there and, we got to, applaud them and they got up on stage and, see Danielle Brooks was, one of the two that was in there for Excellence in Teaching Award. So every college gives a finalist, but only 2 win. And so we had one of those, was from here. Kaylee Hobbs was one of the finalists for the Administrative Professional Leadership Award. S. Fitzpatrick was nominated for Classified Staff Achievement Award. Renee Young for Outstanding Adjunct Award. And then the Empowering Educators Project Management Team was for the MCCA Innovation Award. And so those, we were able to celebrate all of those. We had a large crowd. I don't even know how many from State Fair were there. And Michelle Rupert what's the name of the
Competitive game.
competitive game? Yeah, where they have to get up on stage and play some kind of games. And so she carried us through victory.
He captained us to victory
She did.
and won $1,000 to assist students.
Yeah, so it was a great event. Always good to get with others, whether it be the trustees, the presidents, and anybody that's, with the community colleges. We had a great event and appreciate the opportunity to go and get that professional development. All right, so anything else for board discussion? Okay, well, it looks like our next meeting will be Tuesday, December 16th, 2025 at 5:30 here in the Hopkins room. Of course, December is Christmas month, so we had to change that date. We did that in February, so get that on, make sure your calendar has been changed. So the next thing on the agenda is request for closed session. After closed session, we do not have any other items, so there will be, we will adjourn the meeting after that closed session. So appreciate all of you staying with us. Hopefully it was a quick night for you. We also want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, as we may not see you between now and then. So we are going to go into closed session for legal actions, cause of action, or litigation pursuant to RSMO section 610.0211. Hiring, firing, disciplining, or promotion of personnel pursuant to RSMO section 610.021. Entertain a motion.
Moved.
Okay.
Amy Bashir.
Yes.
Carr,
Yes.
Justin Hobbs,
Yes.
Jeff Page, Parker,
Yes.
Tricia Wood.
Yes. Thank you all. You do. Appreciate you